Peace, y'all. It's your man Dave with my brother Quest, the man bringing you all things marriage, paying you huge dividends on your investment in time with us. We're talking about love, sex, having children, money, spirituality, life, communication, and anything else to help you thrive and win in your relationships. And guess what? This is grown folks' business. So get ready to make grown-up decisions. You know why? Because marriage ain't for suckers. That's the name of the program. Marriage ain't for suckers. All right, let's get into it. Hey, yo, Quest, it's time to give the people something, man. What we talking about today?
Yes, indeed. Shouts out to everybody out there in the land. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Quest. Welcome to another edition of the Marriage Ain't for Suckers podcast. D making fun of me now because my mute button was on. Yes, indeed. And while we saying D, you know what I'm saying? Give it up, man, for my man, my mellow man, my co-host, L. David Harris. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Get in there, man.
And MC.
What up, Quest?
Oh man, I'm dying laughing because I pushed it up but the bum got stuck. So you know you gotta. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't hear myself.
Class is still in session though.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed it is. I was like, I don't hear myself in the ear scopes.
There you go again.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Welcome to another edition, like we said. For real, man, make yourselves at home. This is the Marriage Ain't for Suckers podcast program.
What else?
If you will.
What else?
And the Grown and Married. You feel me?
Yeah, man.
Shouts out to the Grown and Married clan, man.
Double
Y'all
duty. Yes.
Yep. We on the simultaneous boy. But yeah, man, lovely week. D, a lot going on and a lot of things coming. Shouts out to everybody who came to the Verified conference in Philly. I got to see Officer Craig. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah? I still haven't met the dude in real life, man. Can you imagine?
Oh, man. We've been kicked it for 2 minutes there yesterday. So it was good to see him. So shouts out to Officer Craig, man. Philly PD, stand up. Number of different things coming. Man, Jerobi called and was like, yo, I need you to officiate over my wedding. And I was like,
really?
I was like, done. Let's get it.
Who gonna cater the reception? Him?
Yeah. So it's going to be. Well,
nice.
I can't really.
No.
Say
Don't tell me nothing more. I'm just making a statement. Yeah.
But my man was like, yo. So shouts out to him, man, for entrusting me with the responsibility of officiating over the ceremony. So I go to do that in a couple of weeks. So yeah, shouts out to him and his lovely bride. You know what I'm saying? As they embark on this new journey, this new part of life together.
Okay.
So that's going on, man. And then, of course, we were in Jersey visiting with my in-laws and back and forth between Jersey and New York. So had a lovely time up there as well, man.
You know where you weren't?
Where I wasn't. I know where I wanted to be, but wasn't.
Okay. Just saying Movita and a whole bunch of other people were. But anyway, Sorry, I be interrupting. Pardon me. Excuse.
Oh wow! So you know what I'm saying? What's her married name now?
No, this to Junior. I can't remember. Harris Singh. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Shouts out to them too, man. I ain't seen them in a minute. It's been a couple of years since I seen her and Susan and them in a minute. So yeah, man. Shouts out to them. I would have loved to be there. Don't worry. Everything in its time, my friend.
In the fullness.
What's good? What's good on the JA side, though?
Yeah, well, I've been running solo for a minute because the queen is I don't know what she doing over there. Well, really, I do. I'm lying. The little dude was supposed to go and then to America. Sorry, and her pops was like, "You just gonna let him go by himself?"
Mm-hmm.
And then, he made it so she could go, and now they both there, and they've been gone too long. So next week, it'll be a month, and they'll be back, Lord sparing life. So that's what it is, man. And I'm here, man. I'm here, man. I miss them. I miss her. But I'm good, bro. I'm a melancholy, so I don't get that lonely feeling. I just miss my queen though. Like I miss her, like all of that. So I'm just
Yeah.
over here doing more. I do more weights than normal. Honestly, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like when I'm in the gym, I'm doing more than normal.
Yep.
Get that energy out.
Yep.
Yeah, so
it's funny when the wives go to the gym, you got to take it back a notch because you're working out with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So,
It's
but God
all
has been
though.
good to us, man. And I'm thankful. And,
Word up.
and our marriage grew up while she was away.
Yeah, no doubt.
18
No
years.
doubt.
So
You got grown people marriage.
mm-hmm.
And it's a blessing, man, to make it that far. Some don't make it past 1, 3, 5.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you can't ever take it for granted. And people used to say when we were young in our marriage, I'm talking about like, because I was counting milestones. I was like, we've been married for, I don't know, 6 months. We've been married for, and then people would try to be funny and be like, yeah, let us know when you reach this one. And I'm like, have you seen the statistics lately? While you being discouraging, have you seen the statistics? And I can tell you that a lot of the people that got married when we got married ain't even. Not only are they not married, but they got beef with each other. They have real problems against each other today.
So let me say this to you. Then, as you say that, I just read some stats the other day. As you know, marriages in the U.S. specifically, I don't know what it is in Jamaica or anywhere else, but here in the U.S. They range anywhere from 49 to 53, but as of late, it has been closer to 53%. And according to John Gottman's research, that's an average of 900,000 marriages per year.
Yeah. There's nothing that's acceptable at that rate.
So
there's nothing else in society that is acceptable unless it's in a decline.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
In society. So I don't take a day for granted, bro. No, sir.
Imagine 900,000 marriages in 1 year divorced.
No. Lord help us, man. All of us. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
but
man.
I'm fighting not to become a statistic, bro.
Nah, we can't just lay down for that, sir.
I've been there, done that already. I refuse to do it again.
No. Let's not talk about the second go around statistics.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, Lord bless you. Lord, keep the faith. That's Quest's wife name. So I always say keep the faith. I don't even call it faith no more. I just say keep the faith.
Nah, her name is Keep the Faith. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Well, like I said, man, this weekend has been awesome. In terms of just the conference we went to, a lot of information, man, that we got leaving there. Let me tell you something. E is in the. I have a certain. Outside of the respect, there's a certain love that I have for him. Just in terms of this marriage thing alone, he was the one who coached me through when I went through what I went through years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, not only that, he's like, yo, we too much alike. I need you in this camp. And so
I remember when that happened, even though you and I weren't talking like at that time, we were kind of like, distant.
But yeah, man, let me just go ahead and shout out Breathe University real quick. Shout out just ETA, man. Your boy, Eric Thomas is not only the PhD, he's a critically acclaimed author, world-renowned speaker. He's an educator. He's a pastor. He's opened his new church in Lansing. That thing is phenomenal. And this week, like for real, just who he had on that panel, Quincy Harris, who has, is doing phenomenal things in terms of TV and radio. Karen Civil, who is a social media giant. She's handled the social media accounts of everyone from Hillary Clinton to Lil Wayne and the information she was given was phenomenal. As a matter of fact, she has a book coming out called Silent Giants, and she is indeed a silent giant. She's like a lot like you, a melancholy. She's kind of back, behind the scenes, but a lot of the stuff that happens has happened because of her.
Understood.
Lil Wayne's The Carter. That album, while he was locked up for a couple of months, that album was the number one album on the Billboard charts because of the work that she did in terms of social media and how so unbelievable, what she does. And so, he had all of them together, and it's getting to the point now where he calls people to ask them to do things and they don't say no. They're just like, yo, you doing it? Yeah, we good. We in. So just that in and of itself, is phenomenal, but he's taken pretty much the world by storm. And with his creative style and high energy messages, the words continue to impact tens of millions of people in several hundred countries across the globe. And so I say all of that to say that, like, for real, he is definitely committed to changing lives. So if you haven't been to a live event, I think the next live events that are coming up are the 1% Club happening in New York, August 23rd and 24th. That's next week, next 2 weeks. New Orleans is happening in September 12th and the 13th, and in DC on October 5th and the 6th. Let me tell you something. If you have not gone to see Tiffany Montgomery or Jamal King do his thing with them, you need to go. Check it out. And if you want more information, go to etinspires.com /events, or go to breatheuniversity.com. For real, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you will be successful.
I just want to say something. It may seem strange and out of place, but, I'm thinking about all of the brothers who were at Oakwood University, then college, who came out of the Bell Tower ministry, or really were there to start and were starting, when it started. All of them are like next level at whatever discipline that they're associated with. Like, none of those men are average. All of those young boys who are in college or visiting college constantly, in the case of some, but were a part of the Bell Tower ministry, are all like next level of whatever they do.
It's funny, D, because I think a lot of them were the last of a dying breed when you look at Dwayne and Wayne Keynes. Dwayne Keynes, who is, I think, the Minister of Defense and something else in Bermuda. You look at E, you look at Trey, you look at all these different dudes. Like, for real, I remember when I used to go and pay him visits at, and they were in the cafeteria at college. They were having, discussions on Brown versus Board of Education, Ferguson. And I'm like, yo, what kind of
dudes are babies. Yeah.
I'm talking about 19, 20-year-old cats. And these were the discussions that they were having, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just to see them doing what they're doing now, unbelievable. Just proof to the paradigm that, you are a product of your environment. And like, for real, look at E. You tell you quick, I was a high school dropout. I only ended up going to Oakwood because Didi went.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to lose his girl. And so he went down there with her and went to school. And look what it produced. So, yeah.
Yeah. Lord bless him. Lord bless all of those guys. And yeah. So let's go ahead and get right into it, Quest. Let's skip the next thing and get right into it today, bro. We got a little bit of time left. So Quest and I were talking about some things, as we always do. And while Quest was talking about a discussion he was having at home, right? As he was telling me some of the things that he was thinking, I was just like, I wasn't actually rolling my eyes. I want to be a little bit melodramatic here. Kind of rolling my eyes like likely dude answer, guy answer. True, guy answer. I agree. That's another guy answer. And when I say guy answer or man answer, I'm saying it has nothing to do with whether whatever he was saying to his wife was true or false. It had to do with, in my mind, because we always think, Quest and I seem to be thinking always in like the context of how do we share or disseminate about marriage. And I'm thinking, man, there are a lot of women who have no interest. And I'm not saying what Faith did or didn't want to hear, because I have no idea. I wasn't there, and Quest didn't tell me his business. But I'm thinking when men and women are in the room, we're married. Sometimes men have these pragmatic, very logical, very, cut and dry responses that may even be true. And the woman, the wife is like, man, I am not trying to hear. She may not say it. Man, I'm not trying to hear none of that. Like, let's just say, okay, I'll give you an example. Years ago, Simone had, we're talking about 17 years ago. We lived in a development before we went out and moved to the country. And she had some kind of vehicle. And she had one of those portable, what do you call them things? Navigators, GPS joints on the dashboard, right? Well, it's on the dashboard. And it's 17 years ago. It was novel then. And she closes the door, goes in the house, and doesn't think anything of it, even though I was always on her about stuff like that. And of course,
leaving it on the dashboard.
Yeah, it's just not because it was so valuable, but that window was very valuable to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And inconvenient.
More valuable than that doggone time on the dashboard.
And inconvenient when you break it.
Uh-huh.
So, of course, somebody went in there and got it. So, for me, I don't know if I doubt I said it, but I'm just thinking of classic guy responses. I'm thinking, well, I'm sure I told you, and not that you needed to be told. Like, that should have been logical. To stop leaving your navigator in the window in your vehicle. Okay, well, first of all, now you sound condescending. Didn't I tell you? I didn't say that, but if I'm thinking it. Number two, it's very logical that you don't leave anything of value in the vehicle, much less on the dashboard. Number three, now I'm telling you how inconvenient it is for me that you got, condescending again, our vehicle broken into because what? You left. Now you're blaming. Mm-hmm. All of this stuff sounds logical, but in the context, like some of this stuff is really detrimental on marriage, as simple as it is. Now, there are a lot of people who could say, well, yeah, it was not a good idea that she would have done that. And why can't you speak your mind? Well, because the risk and what makes it okay for her to leave it on the dashboard, because after all, it's going to cost you money, double time, and it could have been avoided. Yeah. All I'm saying is if you want to jump on the sword and say all of that pragmatic, logical, and possibly true stuff, just go ahead and get the trumpet out and play whatever you play for when people lose their loved one. Because your marriage, loved ones, your marriage, which is your loved one, it will die if you have a habit of saying all of the pragmatic, logical, and very true stuff.
Yeah.
It'll kill it straight, kill it dead.
Well, here's the thing about that too. It is the contrast between peacemaker and one who kind of just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the one who is apologetic versus the one who is not apologetic.
Yeah.
Yo, all of those things have a breaking point.
True.
Yo, let me tell you something.
You don't have to lay down for everything. I'm not saying that for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. For me personally, I'm sensitive to difficulties in marriage because of divorce. I never want to see or come, and that has put me in a position where, okay, good. You can't control nobody else, but you can control you. You understand?
Gotcha. That's clean. Yeah.
So I'm quick to say I'm sorry. I'm quick to even, and it puts me in a position, even when I'm not being aware, to be some kind of aware, if you will, because I'm always looking at, I can't control what you did or didn't do, but I can control what I did or didn't do. And so let me take the responsibility, number one, because I am a husband, because I am a father, because I am the head of a family,
sir,
to say X, Y, and Z. However, if I continue to say sorry, if I continue to be the peacemaker, and okay, there's a dark side to the kid as well.
Say that for people who don't understand slang.
Okay. They're like, I have not always been the dude who's been agreeable, just because based upon how we're wired and where we come from. All right. Now, if I want to talk assessment talk, there's a certain way that we've been socialized based upon our upbringing. Like we cool up until a certain point where we feel like you're taking advantage of us, or we feel like you trying to play us for a punk or a sucker, like for real. Like if you do something and you know that you're supposed to say sorry for this thing, but you don't say sorry, and we on the receiving end of that,
Yeah.
and you do it once or you do it twice or whatever our cutoff point is,
Yeah.
now you've brought us to the same place where you reside, where you like what? So we gonna have that whole attitude of bump you what? And then at that point, when you're doing that kind of stuff in a marriage, yeah, it won't be too long before it dissolves.
Pull out the trumpet, like I said, and play the song that you play when things die, because your marriage has just died, expired.
Yep.
So there are a lot of, we could give a ton of different examples, and I don't know that I've always been. I can think of a couple of times, because I'm really a basic guy, man. A couple of times way back before I learned better, that I just said the real logical thing. Like there was a thing. Okay, so here's something. Like for me, I do whatever I do it well, right? Mm-hmm. And I know that I'm not the only one that could do it well. But if like, for instance, this is what was happening. I was supposed to be fixing something that was on the wall. And everything I fix is fixed. I'm not Bill Cosby on the little show where he breaks up everything and it's like, oh, he messed it up. He thought he could be Mr. Fix It. Everything I do is with excellence. I don't mean any disrespect. I'm not trying to be funny. It is what it is. So if I'm fixing a pipe, the pipe is fixed. If I spackle and paint something, it's spackled and painted. So I'm there working on whatever it was, like a wall or something. And Simone, this is years ago again. Simone said something like, not said something, but she kept like sort of talking about whatever it was I was doing and giving like, oh, here's another idea. Boom, here's another idea. Why you could do it this way? Could you do it that way? That's how I'm hearing it. It may not have been exactly that way, but that's how my brain was picking it up. For me, I'm like, if you want me to fix something, then show me where it is and let me fix it and beat it.
Mm-hmm.
But now I know after all these years that really she just thinks audibly sometimes. And it had nothing to do with, but be that as it may. So what I did, I turned around and gave her the instrument, whatever it was, and said, you want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
You want to do this?
Yep.
That's not even 7 words.
Mm-hmm.
Just go ahead and get your trumpet and blow it. Whatever that song is, when you kill somebody, when somebody's dead, and now your marriage is that. Why? Because for me, I was tired of hearing the ideas because I'm doing it already. Like just let me do it.
Yep.
Right? But when I turned around and said something about, do you think she took kindly to that, bro?
Yep. No, she didn't. I know she didn't.
Do you want to do it? It's not the right answer. Because it means, do you want to do it? If not, then something negative. Be quiet, but you're more rude about it.
Yep.
If you can do it better than you do it. And now you're being insulting.
Mm-hmm. And here's the funny thing. We can communicate those things like, sweetheart, it's most aggravating for me to be here already doing the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for you to be in my ears while I'm here, because I can't really concentrate on what it is that I'm doing because I'm listening to you. And let's be honest. Let me ask you then, are you helping the situation or are you making it worse by saying what you're saying to me? You know what I'm saying? So however you choose to communicate it, there's a way to communicate it, right? That it can be received, right? And I think sometimes what we do is because we're aggravated, we operate in the program instead of stopping and saying, okay, I need for that thing to stop. And there's a way for me to communicate that I need for this to stop. But because it takes too much time and it takes too much work, our response to using your example, you want to do this? Okay, if you don't want to do this, go over there and
see. I didn't say that, but she heard. Hear what I'm saying to you. She heard all of the rest of the stuff that would normally come after. Because I didn't say anything more.
Oh yeah, no. 4 words.
And but she heard. She heard all kind of stuff that maybe somebody else would have said. Some of it maybe I would have said. No, I wouldn't have, because I didn't. Because I don't say right. But still, in her mind, it was most insulting.
Yep.
What do you mean by this?
Me and Faith recently had a bit of a disagreement, and I was saying to her, because of tone and temper and for real, I think I was saying something along the lines of, you're not looking at things from my perspective. The only perspective that you're seeing is your perspective, right? And I think it was the tone in which I said it that she was like, "Oh, so I'm selfish."
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
I was like, "No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that."
So you make the point that I was saying. Like what?
Absolutely.
Who said that? I didn't say that.
Absolutely. So that's what I am now. I'm selfish now, right?
Boy.
No, that's not what I'm saying. And what I'm learning is that if there's a feeling that you are feeling, you can't deny the feeling that you're feeling. The feeling is very real. However, the way that it is communicated, though, can be different, because sometimes we allow the frustration of the feeling that we're feeling to do the communicating for us. And whenever you do that, oh yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and get the trumpet out. Yeah. And think about it. There are times, like for me, when you're a low and slow kind of guy like me, the most excited I get is when what you see right here. And that's not very exciting. I mean,
You're welcome.
Yeah. So for me, like the way that some people might communicate frustration in a love relationship, I never do.
So you're saying this me turn you up?
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I can get excited about stuff. I'm not dead. But I'm just trying to tell y'all, like, I never have, first of all, I've never raised my voice to Simone. And I'm not saying it's the worst thing or the best thing or it ain't the thing. I'm just telling you, I have never one time raised my voice at Simone. I have never said a bad word to Simone. Even quietly. And I could tell you all kind of stuff, right? So I'm a pretty even keel kind of person. It's not because everything's okay, because after all, I am a hood dude. After all, I did grow up rough. So it's not because I just like getting along naturally. Now, as a Christian, I kind of do, but I'm just saying. It's not because of that, because I can go all the way up, but it's on a negative. Which is why I don't argue with people. It's either get along with them or do something that puts you on the news. And I'm not interested in that because Christ wouldn't do that, right? So my point is, whenever I would respond to Simone in those ways that she did not like, it was always like this. So would you, like when she did the thing with the, and I said, you want to do this? It was exactly as I described. I looked over my shoulder barely. And I said, you want to do this? At that same volume.
But here's the funny thing.
But she heard all kind of shots fired because of the way I did it.
But and here's the funny thing. You didn't have to blow up because she knows that that's not your temperament. But when you stop doing what you're doing.
And barely look over the shoulder. And
like for real, because she knows that you real cool about the stuff that you do. So if you stop to say, yo, you want to do this? Right? That would be the same as if you was me and you like, yo, you want to do this?
Right.
It's the same thing. Why? Because she knows you, she knows your temperament, and she knows when you're.
So my point for that is, for those of you who want to sit here all smug and listen and watch what we're saying here and say, well, I never raised my voice. That means absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Great with that. That means nothing. It means nothing. Because if it's not the right response, it doesn't matter your inflection. It doesn't matter how patient you thought you sounded. If it is the inappropriate response, it is what it is. Or if you know that is a trigger and it's a okay response objectively, but if you know it's a trigger, then you have to walk more gently with your spouse. And it is what it is. You can say it's unfair. You can say what you want to say, but it is what it is. So
it behooves us to learn two things: the difference between calm and flooded.
Okay, we're gonna close on this. I have no idea what you're saying. This one, I'm gonna learn something.
It behooves us to learn the difference between calm and flooded. When you're calm, you can listen properly, you can process, and you can be empathetic if needed to be. Right? good or bad situation. When you're flooded, in other words, when you allow the emotions to come on, flooding in, when you allow your attitude, whatever it is that you're feeling to go up to on the rise, and in difficult situations, you're doing one or two things. You're either going to be on the attack or on the defense.
Gotcha.
So it would behoove you to understand what calmness is, even in the difficult situations. Why? Because you can properly process information, you can think, you can be empathetic, and you can respond and not react. You can respond accordingly. Yeah. Like I said, when you're flooded with those emotions in difficult situations, you're doing one or two things. You want to do this? Or you're defensive. I know what I'm doing. You understand what I'm saying? Either way.
Lose. Everybody loses except you first. You first.
Word up.
Oh, Lord help us all, man.
All be.
Yeah. Well, I'm thankful that God gives us the opportunity to come together and speak as grown people. Now, I'm not saying that people who aren't grown have nothing to offer, but I'm saying this is next level stuff, because honestly, I've seen younger couples, even if it's by years, not by age, by years in marriage, do stuff like this and talk about it like it's no big deal. And then I'm looking at them, I'm like, you have no idea what you're doing to yourself right now,
bro. And here's the funny thing. This is why I'm saying I'm sorry, or an apology is one of the greatest things that you can exercise in a marriage. Keep doing what you're doing. And I don't care if it's a year. I don't care if it's 6 months, 3 months in between one crash to the next. But if you don't apologize for the stuff, what you're doing is creating hairline cracks in the foundation of your marriage. And your spouse can't trust you in certain situations. Why? Because you have a track record of not apologizing, and they know you don't apologize. And so just like you said, D, you think that everything is cool because things went back to normal. Just because things went back to normal for you, don't necessarily, they have a sensory. I don't care where you are, melancholy, sanguine, you turtle, gorilla, everybody got that one little sensor that tells them, like, okay, this is one of those situations that I can't trust you in, and I'm not even going to operate in this. And I'm telling you, you don't even know what kind of breaches you're creating in your relationship or your marriage. So
and then the marriage breaks. And I'm saying in the scenario you described, and then the person who's left behind is like, what happened? We were good. Like, no, you weren't. You weren't good. That's what happened. And you didn't even detect it.
Yep. And here's the funny thing. It's not because you can't detect it. It's because you refuse to detect it.
Lord help us all. So, before we get into a whole nother seminar on this, Quest, I think we gave him enough to be like,
Yep. Absolutely.
So, I'm thankful that you all have chosen to run with us. And as usual, I'm glad that my man, the New Questament, is running with me still. It's been 40 years, man. We've been friends 40 years, man.
Come on, kid. Peace, y'all.
There you have it, y'all. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. Marriage is about mutual love and mutual respect, and it works for those willing to make it work. Real talk, our spouses are treasured jewels given to us to make life better. And the sooner we learn to value one another will be the sooner we become the absolute best versions of ourselves we can be. Until next time, peace.